I'm Jason.
I'm Rick. This is the PCS Report.
Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of the PCS Report, which has just evolved from the weekly spread.
Yes.
So this is the show where we're going to talk about stories that we found interesting throughout the week. All right, so let's get it started, Rick, today.
Yeah, let's get into it.
You've got the first story.
The first story. All right, let's get into it. All right, my first story is a music-related story, and I guess all around the world, everyone knows about this. Has hit the media pretty heavy and hard. One of the former members, Malcolm Young of AC/DC, had passed away last week.
Extremely tragic.
It was very tragic, and huge news around the world. They're planning to have the funeral next week. So this is going to be absolutely huge for, I guess, in Australia as well. So there's going to be a lot of the heavyweights that are going to be around there. They're going to actually release it the same day as the Arias. Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to have a closed funeral on Tuesday just for family and close friends because they still need to mourn the loss of Malcolm. So they're not going to have a lot of media coverage and so forth like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that all pans out and see what they're going to do at the Arias. I'm sure they're going to do some sort of tribute to Malcolm and the guys there. So, it's going to be a very interesting day next week on Tuesday.
It was so tragic. So young. 64.
Yeah, 64.
He had dementia.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Horrible way to go for the poor guy.
But
I believe just about all of Australia will be paying respects to him.
I think it's going to be one of those things. I think you're right, Jace. I think it's going to be come Tuesday, everyone's just going to be like, yep, let's have a minute silence or something like that. You can,
Great.
Very well bad. So there you go, guys.
All right, this week I want to talk about, and we're going to lighten the mood a little bit, is Jude Law. Now, Jude Law, as we know, is a pretty famous actor in Hollywood. Probably had a career now for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, he's really making a claim now to get back into the popular culture area because Marvel looks like they've signed him on for a lead role in Captain Marvel, their upcoming Carol Danvers superhero movie. Now, Jude Law has been cast as, well, one of the most important characters of the cosmic universe, and that is Mar-Vell. So, which are absolutely fantastic to see another fantastic calibre of actor that Marvel just do so well, Rick, and that is getting top quality talent in their movies. And here's another example. And you've got to remember too, Jude Law just recently was cast and they put out a photo of him as young Dumbledore in the sequel to Fantastic Beasts, which will be hitting out, I believe, late next year. So absolutely fantastic. So I really can't wait to see Captain Marvel, Rick.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Because remember, this is the superhero film that is, really, it's female-driven. The other thing, it's set in the 90s.
Yeah.
If you remember, we did a story about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to see footage of that. Really great stuff.
Good to see. Now, this is exciting, Jason. I know you're a big fan of the movie The Raid.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
One of the great action films of all time.
Oh, totally agree. Well, the director, Gareth Evans, is putting together a new TV series called Gangs of London. So, obviously he burst out onto the scene in 2011 with the Indonesian action movie The Raid, which is basically, if you guys haven't seen it, it's basically a SWAT team which goes through different levels of a high-rise building. And they just got to kill all the bad guys.
Take them all out.
It is pretty phenomenal. So basically he's coming out and looking at probably 2019. This new TV show is going to be coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much looking forward to it. If it's anything like The Raid in the movie, I think it's going to be a really good TV series.
Yeah, look, honestly, Gareth Evans, he probably could have had his pick of any project in Hollywood these days. Yeah. And it's really great. He's obviously very passionate about this content.
Yeah. So it's good to see. So hopefully we'll see that.
Absolutely. Now, in the early 2010s, or the late, 2006, I believe the first season came out, there was a show called Community. Do you remember the show at all? Fantastic, really unique, quirky, half-hour comedy about set in a community college.
Joel McHale.
Joel McHale, Chevy Chase. Glover. I keep thinking of Danny Glover. Donald Glover. Look, absolutely fantastic show. And it's gone now for 6 seasons.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yeah.
and it was one of these things that the show became so popular with real hardcore nerds that he'd made a claim in 2007 that he wanted to do 6 seasons and a movie.
Okay.
It was a whole social media wave that went with that. 6 seasons and a movie. Now, Dan Harmon, the creator of Community, has made the 6 seasons, and he now wants to fulfill his promise to his fans and make a movie. Which I think was a great concept to do as a movie because it is very quirky and very pop culture
for sure.
influenced. You know, if you've ever seen the paintball episode of Community,
that's awesome.
One of the great episodes of TV.
Is awesome.
And it's interesting who the people who also behind Community look like they'll be able to make these people happen. The Russo brothers.
That's huge.
So the Russo brothers were a big part of the Community's success, and they actually wrote a lot of the scripts and directed a lot of episodes. And another famous director who was part of Community was Justin Lin. Now, you may not know the name, but Justin Lin had recently directed 2016 Star Trek Beyond, and the previous year to that, he did Fast and Furious 7. And did a great job with the movie that, remember, they filmed half of it. Paul Walker died. They had to come back and film the rest of it. So you think about all the power behind this. It's a great concept. The fans want it, and you've got some amazing Hollywood talent there. I really think this could be a big hit comedy if they handle it right.
When they think it's going to be released? Or
well, they look at the moment. The script has to be written. The concept's there, but the script has. So you're looking at probably a year and a half. Well, you could probably do it in a year these days. They can pump out films in a year. So it looks like no one has signed on the dotted line yet, but it looks like it's very close. So
okay. Yeah.
Keep an eye out for Community. And if you can't remember the show, I'm going to throw to a little clip right now of Community to remind you how funny it was.
What is going on?
The paintball game was starting, and then the dean announced the prize. The prize. We turned on each other like animals.
What was the prize?
This is not over. This is still happening right now.
Come with me if you don't want paint on your clothes.
Great, there you go. Look,
guys.
it's a fun show, Rick. It really is. So keep your eye out for the Community movie.
Look forward to it. All right, Jason, let's still moving on to, I guess, some bit of streaming as well. Still on the Marvel side of things, Punisher on Netflix. What do we say about this show, Jace? It is just amazing.
How far are you in?
I'm 4 episodes in. I'm going to finish it off.
Yeah, I'm 5 in.
This weekend. Phenomenal, mate.
Yeah. The first 5 episodes that I've seen is it's been the best one so far.
Oh, out of
the Marvel Netflix series.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Daredevil was really good. Daredevil 1 and 2 were really, really good.
And then the Punisher very close after.
Yeah, and close after. The others were a little bit weak for me. I just felt they just didn't have it for me. Really, the first episode of this really got me. It just sucked me right in. And I thought, wow, this is amazing.
It hasn't been without its critics, though, Rick. I mean, some people are a bit upset with this version of The Punisher because they've gone in a more political conspiracy thriller way. And I think it's the only way you could go for Frank Castle as an actual character. This is a different, more realistic type of Punisher that has to fit into that universe that they've created with Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. So, look. I love it.
I think it's a great show, and I like the chemistry that he's got, and the Punisher between Punisher and Karen and everyone, and he's just got that, and you feel for him. You feel for him as a character when he does those scenes when he's going back and his memories of his wife and kids and that. It's just so good.
Yeah, there's that scene where he's on the bed and the guy comes into the room, playing the way his wife dies.
It's so
crazy.
Good. Yeah. And John, what's his name? John Bernthal. Is that how you pronounce it?
Bernthal.
It's phenomenal as the Punisher. I just think he's just great.
Yeah, he's what is it? His performance as Frank Castle is just really great.
And it's not just all about the violence. A lot of people just watch it because it's a violent show. No, it's more to that. You've got to look at the way it's written and the actors and everything. And there's some scenes which I'm like, oh my god, you really don't want to do that, and you're like, it's just I love it.
you ride that emotional
Yeah.
journey with Frank Castle
Yeah.
throughout what I've seen so far, which I
Exactly.
really love.
Yeah,
Which I've never seen out of a Punisher movie before. Is really he's very stoic normally, and it's great to see him actually dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
And really, the show deals with a lot about that.
You see it with other characters in the show.
Yeah.
So
Fantastic.
get on it, guys, on Netflix. They're streaming all 13 episodes.
All right.
So yeah.
Well, guys, once you finish watching The Punisher, you might want to keep an eye out for what else will be coming out in the next year and a bit, and that is Super Mario Brothers. And I'm not
Yes.
talking the game. Finally, Nintendo has made a deal with the studio that Super Mario Brothers CGI animated film will be on its way.
Wow.
Now,
That's huge.
most of you may or may not remember, I'd say most of you won't remember, there was a movie out in 1990 called Super Mario Brothers. Yes, a live action film, which I can't believe actually didn't make our top 5 sequels, because that's a terrible, well, it's actually not a sequel, but it's a terrible movie nonetheless. But the good news is Nintendo's now controlling this franchise, and they're going to bring what everybody loves about Super Mario Brothers, and they're going to bring it to the big screen. Now, a lot of people are already saying, oh, gee, like, what kind of story do you do? It's simple, Rick. The story is, he's a plumber, the princess has been stolen by Bowser, and he's got to get her.
That's it.
Simple. That's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, and he's fucked up half idiot brother comes in every now and again.
Luigi.
Yeah, and then he goes away. So wouldn't it be cool if it was a real plumber who accidentally had magic mushrooms, and then the rest of the film is him tripping as he's Mario going through the... Anyway, maybe they're not going to do it that way. But I think there's huge potential here, Rick.
Huge.
To be a massive franchise. I mean, the whole family will go and see a Super Mario.
Yeah, for sure.
It hits every demographic.
Yeah,
So it'll
yeah.
be huge. And I think they can have a lot of fun with the franchise.
I'm glad they're going into animated series. They're not doing a live action. I think.
No,
that's
and
probably
I think
smart.
that's what Nintendo should do.
Yeah.
If they're going to make adaptations of their games, do it in a CGI format.
Oh,
Everyone,
for
I
sure.
think, will embrace it a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, that's great news, I think, anyway.
Awesome, yeah. All right, I'm going to talk about a show which I was hooked on. It airs here in Australia on Channel 7. It runs Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And I'm talking about The Good Doctor. I don't know if you've seen this, Jace. This show is phenomenal. I really, really love this show. I'm not into this type of shows. It's actually the creators of House. So if you guys that sort of...
House was an awesome show.
Yeah, House is an awesome show. So they've got that sort of, I guess, side of things with a doctor. So basically what it is, it's a young doctor called Sean Murphy who's suffers from autism, okay? So he's got savant syndrome, which his brain... Savant syndrome, which his brain just reacts a lot differently, and he sees things a lot differently. So it just goes along his journey, like his struggle to become a surgeon and his life, and how other people in that show relate to him, and it's just fantastic. And the young guy who actually plays Sean Murphy, Freddie Hyman, is just amazing. You really feel that he has autism, and the way he is an actor, you really feel for this character. So this is a big show. I enjoy it. I've seen all the episodes, so I highly recommend it. If you guys are interested in the show, watch it. It's on 8:30 on Channel 7 here in Australia. I'm sure it's aired obviously in America. I'm not too sure where, but definitely get on the
I'll
Good
check it
Doctor
out for sure,
guys. Love it. Great show.
Excellent. All right, now trying to find something new on Netflix can sometimes take way too long. But I tell you, there's a show out at the moment, guys, that I watched 2 nights ago, Rick, and I just found it on Netflix. And it's a show called Shot in the Dark. Okay. Now, do you remember a film called Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal? Do you remember what the premise of that movie was? It was that real weirdo who would go around and listen to police reports and follow accidents and film them. You know, really weird. Well, this is a documentary about people who actually do it in real life. And I'm telling everybody out there, you must watch this documentary because you see things happen in real time. And these guys are getting to accidents. I mean, there's scenes where they're pulling bodies out of the car. You see the most horrific things and what these guys go through to get this footage. So, I mean, you have, it follows the tale of 3 different companies. Yeah. Companies, not people.
Companies that do it.
As they go around chasing this footage so then they can sell them to the TV outlets.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and I tell you
That's
what,
fucked up.
morally and ethically, it's challenging. It really is a tough show to start watching. But once you get into it, you get drawn into the drama of everything. This is a show that you must check out.
I'm going to check it out for sure. Yeah.
Look, I believe it's a 10-part series out there, but each show is just. I've seen half the series already, and I will be with Punisher this weekend, nailing the rest of it.
Is this a bit graphic?
Very, very graphic.
Yeah.
You don't tend not to see the people's faces. They either blur them or they edit them out. The victims, because sometimes, and some of the victims are okay with it. You see their faces, but some of them have actually died, so you don't want to actually.
That is wow.
And it's really, and it's all set in LA.
Yeah.
And of course, where else would it be done? Would it be set? But certainly it takes that dark, macabre concept and it tries to make sense of it all. Jeez. So it really is a highly recommended show.
I'm going to go check that out.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So there you go. And that's the stories that I had this week, Rick.
Yeah.
And I think that's the stories that you had this week, Rick.
So I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, and so this is the new format of the show. This is how we're going to be pushing through. It's a quick show where we're going to give you all the news that we found interesting throughout the week, and we would love you guys to comment all about it. We love having people engaged with us so we can talk to them, get your feedback.
That's what it's all about. That's right.
Absolutely, Rick.
That's right.
And how do they do that?
Guys, just let us know, please. We really, really appreciate it. Give us a comment down below. Give us a like for the video. Hit that subscribe button for us as well, and just follow us all on our social sites as well. We really, really would appreciate that, and just give us feedback, because that's what me and Jason really, really want. Just feedback. Okay. So we appreciate it. Have a good day.
Well, this has been the PCS Report, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.